Well, it's time once again to gather around the computer for another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. Hopefully, you're enjoying this series of reviews. I guess, as I said before, I'm getting close to 200, so hopefully, you've seen some of them at least, and hopefully, you've enjoyed them. One thing I should point out too, when I do say the prices in these book review videos, they are Canadian prices, as I am here in Canada. If you're in the U.S. watching this, obviously the price is a lot different. So just to point that out, that if you're in the States and wondering, well, why is it this high? Well, this is the Canadian prices that I'm quoting. So, okay, that aside, as always, I'm bringing to your attention two great fiction reads, very exceptional books that hopefully, when you're out planning your book purchases, these two will be added to your collection. The very first is NIGHTWORK by Nora Roberts. This is published by St. Martin's Press and it retails for $39.99. Nora Roberts is one of the most familiar names in fiction. She, of course, those who are familiar with J.D. Robb and the In-Depth series, the futuristic series, of which there are, I think, 60 books or so, Nora Roberts and J.D. Robb are the same person, in case you didn't know, but I think everybody by now pretty well knows that. Nora Roberts can do no wrong with her writing. She has an exceptional knack for creating characters that are people we care about, people we want to learn more about, and when she has a good character, she does well, and the villains, she excels with the villains too. So, NIGHTWORK revolves around the world of Harry Booth. We see him first when he's 9 years old. His mother is dying of cancer, and the family has very little money. It's pretty well the two of them. So he becomes like a thief, a pickpocket, and stealing money just really for her cancer treatments. He's not doing it to become a career criminal. He's doing it for survival and to help his mother because he loves her so much. Well, his mother does pass away, and he continues with his life of petty crime. He breaks into houses and steals valuable things. He does not destroy houses, he simply grabs and runs. And so he happens to go to New Orleans and he meets someone called Sebastian, who is also a crook. Actually, the title NIGHTWORK comes from what Harry Booth considers this night work, as he does most of his criminal, breaking into houses at night. So anyway, Sebastian introduces him to a man named, sorry, I have my notes here, Carter Laporte. Too many names. And Carter Laporte is a man you're going to hate because he's a man who's only looking out for himself. He wants everything, all the best jewels, valuables, antiques, paintings. So he hires Sebastian, and Sebastian gets the help of Harry to go and create real master thefts. These aren't just, $1.98 thefts. These are like multi-million-dollar, and they're paid well for their time. So after one theft, Harry thinks this is it. So he goes to North Carolina, where he has a different personality. Like each place that he goes to, he goes by a different name. He changes his identity, and he does it well, so no one really knows what he's done in the past. He meets a girl by the name of Miranda Emerson, and they fall in love. Now, Laporte tracks him down in North Carolina and wants him to do another major heist. Now, Harry really doesn't want to, but Laporte holds so much over his head. His Aunt Mags, he threatens to harm her. In fact, he has someone break into her house just to show that he can do anything he wants. And he says next he will consider seriously harming her. So he has to go along with this. So eventually Harry leaves. He just, knows he has to go, and he leaves Miranda without any explanation. She doesn't know why he's deserted her. So he creates the theft, and then years later he returns and he's now has a new identity where he's a professor, a college professor, and nobody knows his past, of course, but he runs into Miranda, who threatens to tell all who he really is. Well, he explains what has happened in his life and how he sold his soul to Laporte. So anyways, Laporte wants another theft of the Red Goddess, one of the world's most valuable diamonds. So eventually he plans on conning Laporte, in fact, setting him up through someone else. So it's a really fascinating book. You're going to love the character of Harry, and you're going to root for him every step of the way. NIGHTWORK is a classic work from Nora Roberts. So if you're looking for a book that's suspenseful, got a bit of romance too, you can't go wrong with this one. And the second book of note is Like a Sister by Kellye Garrett. This is published by Mulholland Little Brown, and it retails for $35. This is a very interesting book as well too, by an up-and-coming writer, an African-American writer who writes very well. You can't go wrong with this book too, because it's got a little bit of everything in it. It revolves around the death of Desiree Pierce, who is a reality TV star. She's a media darling, she's got a massive Instagram following, and she is suddenly found dead in a playground wearing only lingerie. She has no shoes, and it's apparent that she died of a cocaine overdose. They can find, evidence on her body that she died of this. Now, police think it's just misadventure through drugs, and they really don't, look into the case at all. Now, her half sister Lena Scott, who has not seen Desiree in 2 years, decides to come, and she thinks, no, this was not just an accidental death. No one suddenly is in a playground in lingerie and without shoes, that she was set up and possibly killed. So she investigates into her life and all the seedy people that Desiree Pierce, associated with. Lena's father, Mel, is a hip-hop producer, and he's had his own skeletons in the closet too. So she looks into his relationship with Desiree, and it becomes a question of who might have hated her enough, or why would someone kill her. All sorts of theories go through through Lena's mind, including blackmail. And then there's the story of a hit and run. One particular evening just before Desiree died, and actually, incidentally, she was found dead the morning after her 25th birthday. There'd been a big celebration. So that factored into it as well. So it is a really interesting book where it looks at racism, sexual stereotypes, racial inequality. It really runs the gamut of race relations, people, how the media looked at it. If it had been a white person found dead like that, likely, as the author mentions in the book, likely it would have swarmed all over it. But a black woman found dead, it was no big deal, to the police and the media. But anyways, Lena Scott is relentless in trying to get to the bottom of the death. And you're going to like Lena Scott. And hopefully, let us hope this is the first book of a series, because Lena Scott is an excellent character. She's relentless in her search for truth. And she cares about her half-sister, even though, they really hadn't seen each other for, as I mentioned, 2+ years. So, Like a Sister is a great book. You will like a Sister very much. And you can't go wrong with this book as well. So NIGHTWORK and Like a Sister are the 2 books I wanted to draw to your attention. Hopefully you will add them to your reading lists. So, as always, I welcome your comments. Please do send them in about my videos and about my choices of books too. So, until we meet again, thank you as always. I say stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and do stay in touch. See you again real soon. Bye for now.